Hello, I'm so pleased you're here. Thank you so much for getting hold of this freebie. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to spend the next 40 minutes with you, just telling you all about the 5 steps that I have come up with in my business as a projector to actively wait for the invitation. Okay, now don't worry, it's not too difficult. Okay, this isn't loads and loads of work. I would never do that as a projector, because I know that our time and energy is so precious. So this is literally just to help you to get more clients whilst doing what you love and whilst resting as well. Okay, resting is really, really important. So who actually am I? So hi guys, my name is Charlie. I'm so pleased you're here. I am a business and marketing coach, and I help projectors to attract clients with ease so they can do what they love and not have to worry about like what everybody else around them is doing. I spent so long, doing this myself. In actual fact, I do have 2 failed businesses because I was acting like a different aura type. I was probably acting with sacral energy, and I was trying all these cookie cutter business strategies, and nothing was working for me at all. And I have noticed that the cookie cutter business strategies do not work for projectors. Okay, even if you follow them step by step and do all of the work necessary and do all the hustle and everything, it just does not work for projectors at all. And I've been there and I've done that. And now here I am helping you to make sure that you run your business as a projector, not as any other aura types. Okay. So why exactly am I here? So being a business and marketing coach, I have been in a career in marketing for 14 years. I literally started off straight out of uni. I did like a couple of like low level sort of admin marketing jobs, a couple of sort of like, sort of sales data type sort of, things like that as well. And then I just grew my marketing career from there. I also have that, even though I do have some failed businesses because I was using cookie cutter business strategies, I do have one successful business myself as well, other than this one. And that is that my husband and I, who's also a projector, we own one of the UK's top gastropubs, and we've had that for 3.5 years now. And I've also, one of the other reasons why I'm here is that because I have been invited to empower 100 female projectors to live the life of their dreams, have massive impact in the world, and help them guide their people with absolute passion. This is why I'm here telling you this, guys, today. So you are definitely in the right place if you know that you are absolutely amazing at what you do and you love getting your clients epic results, but the invitations to work with you just are not appearing at all. We might feel bitter and, imposter syndrome strikes because we kind of think to ourselves, oh, well, I'm a projector, I can't hustle, I can't do this, and like that person over there, she's getting all the money and she's getting all the clients. We don't have to worry about that. We are projectors. We stay in our own aura. And once we have figured out what works for us and how that's going to happen for us, the invitations will absolutely appear. And I'm going to take you through the steps today that is really going to help you to understand, sort of like what you can do in order to just, sort of like open yourself up, to receive those invitations in alignment. And right at the very end, I am going to tell you about a little bonus that you can also get your hands on as well. I'm going to show you how you can grab a free power hour with me so that we can go over what you have learned today and also get clear on your next steps to get your next client. So stay to the end, and then I will show you how you can go ahead and get that. So I'm presuming as you're here, you have kind of created some content. So you've learned Instagram, maybe you kind of like know like how to post and how to do stories and stuff. You started doing content, you might even know exactly what content you need to be posting. You might have like your content bucket, and you might have a little bit of strategy around it. But the problem is that just posting on social media doesn't necessarily get you invitations to work with you, okay? So the invitations aren't coming in, and they're not coming in because that's the only thing that you are doing in your business. So today I'm going to be covering the 5 steps And essentially, this is what you need to do to actively wait for the invitation, which will bridge the gap in between what you do when you post on social media and then, you know, actually signing clients at the end of it as well. So when I say actively wait, I'm really passionate that, you know, we do things whilst we are waiting for the invitation. So waiting does not mean lying around in bed. It doesn't mean, you know, lying around on the sofa and binge watching Orange is the New Black on Netflix, which is currently what I'm watching, by the way, for probably about a third time. So these are the steps that I am going to take you through today in order to help you see if you can bridge that gap in between posting on social and signing clients. So the first one is we're just going to make sure that our niche is really nailed. And also, you know, projectors, we are very good at getting a very defined niche. It's very good for us to be very specific with who we want to work with. Number two is we are going to grow our know, like, and trust factor as projectors. We are going to reach outside of our current audience, because obviously our current audience isn't necessarily where all of our clients are going to come from. We still need to expand what we do have and reach outside of our current audience in order for it to grow. We're also going to learn how to build relationships as a projector, and we're going to learn how to energetically align with your invitations as well. So I hope you've got your notebook out ready to make notes. I'm going to take you through these individually so that we can really start to, basically plug those gaps where your marketing is at the moment. So step number one, we are going to talk all about how to nail your niche, okay? So there's an age-old marketing saying where if you talk to everyone, then you'll sell to no one at all. Everyone is unique and different in the world, and you cannot, you know, sort of talk to everyone in the hopes that you will, you know, actually make any sales. So you need to actually talk to the potential clients as if there's nobody in the world apart from them. You need to capture the pain of what they're going through and show them how you can solve it with your amazing projector magic. So who actually are going to be your clients? So to start off with, they are going to be coachable. There are people in this world that, you know, are not receptive to, you know, sort of advice and coaching and that kind of thing. So just make sure, you know, because otherwise we're going to feel really bitter if we like reach out and sort of like try and fix everybody's problems. Just make sure to start off with that your niche is in a coachable sphere. The next one is that they are going to be easily identifiable. So they're also going to be easily contactable. So this is something that's really important when defining your niche, because when you know how to identify them on social media and contact them, that means you'll be able to actually sell to them, essentially. So if they were somebody like, you know, like a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and on Instagram, they didn't put that information on their bio because it's literally just a personal bio, then how are you going to identify them? Maybe Instagram isn't the right platform for you. Maybe LinkedIn would be the better platform if that is what your niche is. So that's kind of where, you know, identifying this information comes in really handy, because then you'll be able to understand where online you are going to be looking for those people. They're also going to be really happy to pay your worth. They have a situation that they want to get out of. They might actually be you yourself 2 years ago. So you may have had an issue, like, you know, 2 years ago, 3 years ago or something, you had a problem and you really needed to solve that problem, and you really found it really difficult, and you have your own personal journey of how you removed yourself from that situation. And you might now be helping people with the similar situation to get out of it, essentially. So you yourself are going to know exactly how it feels. So just like me, for example, 2 years ago, when I had an affiliate marketing business, I was acting like a generator. I was hustling and pushing out content and all this sort of stuff. And I now know what not to do as a projector. So this is why I'm here, teaching projectors now what not to do and what to do, essentially. So, you know, some part of my niche, of my target audience, is to do with the fact that you know, these people might have been me 2 years ago, potentially. And also, they are people who can't seem to see through the fog. They can't seem to, they just don't know like what the solution is, because, you know, the problem is right there in front of them, and, you know, they just don't know what to do to fix it. But you know what? You do know how to fix it, because you have your amazing projector magic that you can help them with. So also, your target audience are going to have two different sides of them. So they're going to have demographics that you need to really, really understand and nail down. And they're also going to have psychographics too, as well. So if we just go back to the last slide, I have to come out of that a second. Nope. So when I say that easily identifiable and contactable, this is where the demographics come into play. So this is where you're going to be talking to people on Instagram who are going to have a profile that looks potentially like your demographic. So do they look like they are a woman between the ages of 25 and 40? Do they post about things, you know, to do with their career or their job or their business? Not the 55-year-old chap who likes motorbikes. So this is where, and I understand that that was a really obvious example. Now, but that is where your demographics comes in. That is where you can actually identify them and contact them on social media, because you've got those demographics nailed down. Now, where it comes into a little bit more of a little bit more depth, this is where we have the psychographics, which essentially is the situation that they want to get out of. So other psychographics could mean things like likes and dislikes, goals, aspirations, dreams, etc. Yeah, like problems that they have that, you know, you can solve, but they, you know, they can't solve them by themselves. So all of those are the psychographics of your dream client. Now, when you've got those both together, the demographics and the psychographics, that is when you really and truly do understand your target audience so well that your content becomes so niche. And also your coaching programs and like any other services that you have really do fit into that particular niche for people. So step number 2, we are going to learn how to grow our know, like, and trust factor when we have the energy to. Now, most of this step here that I'm going to talk to you about, I understand that I'm talking to you from a place of, yeah, basically just sort of like hustling and getting out there. But of course, when I'm talking to you about this, this is literally when you have the energy to. So every single part that I'm going to be going through, actually in this whole masterclass, is that it's just got that caveat to it, is when you have the energy to, because there are other things that are more important, like rest, for you to be able to, yeah, just be your amazing projector self. So there's 4 things that we're going to have to understand about showing up online as a projector. So the very first thing about being visible online is the more you show up, the more chance that people will get to know you, like you, and trust you. Okay, this is really important. So this is where we need to really become aligned to who we are, really do what we love, because when we do what we love, we automatically want to share with the world what we're doing and what we're up to. So the second thing that is, you know, something to understand about showing up online is that showing up as you, your true authentic self, has more impact than showing up with maybe your face layered in makeup, with dressed to the nines, you know, all this kind of like, you know, other layers that people might have to themselves. So, you know, the more you can really and truly and honestly be yourself online, the more people will really kind of like sort of warm to you, really understand you, and really want to work with you. The third thing is that people only buy from people. They don't buy from pretty Instagram feeds, statistics or infographics, and they certainly don't buy from inspirational quotes. Now, I'm not saying that these can't be a part of your strategy, your content strategy. If you are the kind of person who wants to make your Instagram feed look really pretty, then that's really not a problem at all. It's just that you've got to understand that that is not the reason why someone is going to end up buying from you. The real reason, which is number 4, is that people make purchasing decisions based on how you make them feel. Okay, so when you've got like a really pretty Instagram feed, that's not really invoking any sort of emotion that is going to help them to understand how you are going to end up changing their lives. Okay, so those are just 4 things for you for today, guys, just to sort of like understand, you know, the things about growing your know, like, and trust factor. Now, with the know, like, and trust factor, basically this is like a really sort of like really overused online terminology. So essentially you need to get people to know you, and you know, that's all about, you know, your content strategy and what you're saying and like showing up in video and all that sort of stuff. Now, the reason why we do this is because I think it would be a little bit odd if you know, sort of like you had like maybe like a discovery call or someone or something with someone, you get on Zoom and you know they have never ever seen you before. They don't know who you are, they don't know what you look like, and it would be a little bit of a shock. Now, whenever I have like power hours, or even when I have, you know, like a client sign up with me, the first thing that they always say to me when they join my Zoom call and we meet for the very first time is, "Oh, hi, Charlie. I feel like I already know you." And of course, that's really odd because I'm sitting there going, "Well, I haven't met this person yet so far," but that's fine. And it's because they have been following me, they have been understanding who I am, and they've been getting to know me and know who I am on both a personal and professional level. Now, the next part of the know, like, and trust is also that, you know, you have to like someone. So, you know, you do have to show up online and you do have to have your content, because people have got to like you at the end of the day. They've got to align with your values. They've got to understand what you're saying. They've got to love what you say, etc. So that's also very important as well. And then the very last bit is all to do with that trust. So are you who you say you are, and do you do what you say you do? Now, usually with trust, we can kind of, you know, put out, you know, sort of like testimonials and client words so that, you know, other people can really see that you are definitely going to help people, and that you're not one of these people that have just suddenly, you know, started an Instagram account and, you know, suddenly said that they're, you know, a social media expert, even though they, I don't know, they had a lifetime in finance and they don't actually know anything about social media whatsoever. So the know, like, and trust is still really important, even for projectors, actually probably even more so for projectors, to be fair, because people need to really understand your projector magic. So don't forget about growing your know, like, and trust factor. So being visible essentially is showing up for your potential clients only. Okay, so when you get on, you know, stories and, you know, any kind of video kind of thing, or even your written content, just make sure that you are speaking to them and them only. It doesn't matter that you've got friends and family following you. Don't worry about the fact that, you know, they're there. Talk only to your potential clients. Now, it also is only when your energy allows you to. And also, just don't feel bad if you don't feel like getting on stories, okay? There's a lot of stuff out there today, you know, to do with the algorithm, and it's all about consistency, okay? So it has been told that, you know, we need to post every day. We need to get on stories every day. We need to do IGTV. We need to do lives. We need to do this. We need to do that. And literally, the algorithm is born out of the generator, sort of like builder, you know, people of this world. Now, projectors can still do really well on Instagram, even if they can't be consistent, or even if they don't get on stories every single day. Or even if you have a break from stories for 2 whole weeks, it's really not a problem at all. So don't try and sort of like pertain to that algorithm. You know, you really don't have to like, you know, work with it. I mean, you can, there are things that we can do as projectors that really, really help. But just don't worry too much. At the end of the day, people will come to you. If you're asking the universe for people, they will come to you. So showing up and being unapologetically you and being so authentic that the people you see, that people basically can see you are genuine and what your passion is in the world. So this is what being visible is. So I hope that you're really sort of like beginning to feel like you can get out there on stories, like you can do this, and like it's okay to be a projector, and you know, we can do this. Because I really truly believe that we all can. We have such an amazing, unique magic inside of us. It is going to happen. So a little bit at the end here of this step, just about confidence. So basically, when you're aligned, you have confidence, okay? Because confidence comes when you know who you are. And of course, we all know human design, because otherwise you wouldn't be here today. So you know who you are through human design and, you know, self-awareness, etc. You know what you do, because, you know, you know exactly, you know, what your strengths and weaknesses are and how you can help and how you have helped in the past. And also who you serve, okay? So these two steps together, essentially, they kind of mold together in the sense that as soon as you nail that niche, and as soon as you know who it is that you are talking to, and then you know who you are and what you do, that together will create the confidence that you need to get visible online to your specific audience only. Remember that we're not talking to the world. The world isn't here to hear our message. Not everybody in the world needs to hear it, but you are talking specifically to your target audience, and you just need to show up for them and them only. So we're going to go on to step 3 now. So this is where we need to start reaching outside of our current audience. Okay, so I'm presuming that you've got maybe like a couple of hundred followers, maybe even a couple of thousand followers, and you know, potentially that number might not be growing particularly fast. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to kind of reach outside of that follower number, so that we can get more and more people into our sphere. Okay, so posting, you know, posting on social media, regardless of whether it's a written post or stories or something, it is obviously really good to help you to reach outside a little bit, because you're using hashtags. So maybe a hashtag might be picked up and you can reach more people that way. If you post amazing content that's shareable, again, somebody in your audience could share it, and then more people are going to see that piece of content. So there are, you know, good ways for you in your content strategy to help you reach outside of your current audience, but it's going to be very inconsistent. You could post 10 posts and not one of those 10 posts could be shared whatsoever, and then all of a sudden you might post one post the next day and it will, you know, be shared loads. So, you know, it is going to be very inconsistent if you only rely on your content strategy in order to grow your audience outside of what your current audience is. So the way that the algorithm works means that you have to reach outside of your current audience to bring new people into it, okay? But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be visible, because when you're reaching outside of your audience and bring them in, they need to know you. They need to start that, you know, sort of journey with you, like, oh, who is this person? Like, what do you do? And, you know, what are you doing, etc. So that's why you need all of this in your strategy in order to be able to grow your business. So without connecting, engaging, which, by the way, this is how you grow outside of your current audience, you use connection and engagement. And basically without this, your Instagram will gain a few new followers a week, may not even be in your target audience. So I don't know whether you guys have had like random people sort of like follow you or not. I certainly get it quite a lot. You won't get invitations to work with you. Okay, if you don't do this, you won't grow your connections outside of your current tribe. Your follower numbers won't increase. You won't be able to sell your offers, and your business will absolutely stagnate. Believe me, I have been there and done that. When I first started out on Instagram, even though I was a marketer, I did not connect and I did not engage and I did not have any clients. It's as simple as that. So when you connect and engage, basically what you are doing on Instagram is you're going out there and you're finding your ideal clients somewhere on Instagram, wherever they're hanging out, and you're using the demographics and the psychographics to identify them and contact them. Okay, so you see how all this is coming together now. So once you have identified them, you can do any of the following things. So you can give them a follow if you feel energetically aligned to. You can comment on the latest post if you feel like you can put something that is really meaningful on there. You can react to their stories if they've got some stories up. And essentially what you're doing here is you're showing them that you're not there to just get a follow out of them before you then unfollow them, because nobody likes that game at all. Nobody wants to be followed and then unfollowed a few days later. So just show them that you're there to, you're there to stay basically. So you're not going to just unfollow them, which kind of likely means that they're going to follow you back. So the next one in this is we are just like kind of like after this whole sort of like connection and engagement part of it, then flows into step 4, which is all to do with building relationships. Okay, so you kind of started it a little bit by connecting and engaging, maybe following, maybe, you know, commenting, etc. But now we need to actually build meaningful relationships, and we are going to start conversations in the DMs. Okay, does this trigger you? I wonder if it does. As a projector, we know that we should not be initiating whatsoever. Okay, but let me help you with a couple of things. Now, this is actually the longest step that I have in this presentation so far. So please bear with me, because this is the step where projectors really, really, really get tripped up. And I'm hoping that the ideas that I'm going to present to you today in this part where, you know, we need to start conversations in the DMs, I'm hoping you'll be able to start to find a way that you can start to build relationships that works for you. Okay, so I'm not saying you need to do it, go away and do it, and you know, this is how you need to do it. I just want you to know that this, you know, this is how I do it. This is the aligned way that I start relationships, essentially. So are you objecting to starting conversations in any way? So do you say any of these to yourself? I have a content strategy, so I post regularly and I don't need to be salesy in the DMs because they will come to me. I get on stories, so I don't need to DM people. You know, I think that DMing on people on Instagram is sleazy, salesy, and I absolutely simply won't do it. Fair enough. I don't know how to start a conversation with someone. You might just not know. Or you might be saying to yourself, well, I'm a projector, I can't initiate. I need to wait for the invitation to be able to start a conversation. So this is where I come on to the fact that you don't necessarily need an invitation to start a conversation if it aligns with you, okay? So here are some examples of when it is possible for a projector to start a conversation. And this isn't an exhaustive list, you know, the list might go on a little bit for you. So first of all, we have when someone has followed you. So of course, someone has obviously found you somewhere and, you know, they're kind of thinking, oh, I want to connect with this person. So that is kind of like almost an invitation in itself to connect with them in some way. Now, this might not be aligned for you to then, you know, jump in the DM straight away, but it might be aligned for you to go and connect and engage with them first before you then go into the DMs. You know, you could start a conversation with someone if they have commented on your post. So for example, if someone has taken the time to read my post, write a very nice heartfelt comment on it of how, you know, maybe it's helped them or how they feel or maybe what their experience has been, then I will sometimes, you know, depending on how energetically, you know, aligned I feel, I will sometimes just go into the DMs and literally just say, thank you so much for this wonderful comment that you've made on my post, and then maybe ask them a question and continue the conversation. Because, you know, they have spent time. If they spent time on your content, why not? Why not talk to them? It's not like you're selling to them. It's not like you're going into them and saying, oh, thank you so much for that comment. By the way, do you want to buy my coaching course? We're not going to do that. We're projectors. That's not going to happen. And then also, the very last one is actually you can start a conversation with someone if you feel called to. You might, you know, sort of like, I don't know, be looking at someone's content and be saying, oh my God, like that really resonates with me. I really want to tell this person, you know, how I feel and how they've made me feel and all that sort of stuff. And then a conversation can start from there as well. Okay. So without DMs, this was like, you know, a good few years ago now. I had an Instagram account for a previous business. So this is the affiliate marketing business that I did. And I had 11,000 followers on that account, and I didn't send a single DM. Okay. Did not build relationships with anyone whatsoever. Okay. And because of that, I didn't make a single sale of a $7 course that I was trying to sell as an affiliate marketer. Okay. Do you see how like important building relationships is in business? Now, also in this business as well, I didn't send DMs at all in this business up until about, well, it's not 6 months ago, it's about 12 months ago now. And what I had at the beginning of this business was just a couple of people coming in and asking to pay for power hours, and that was it. So I was earning £150 every couple of months, basically, because I wasn't building relationships up. So, you know, it is really, really important. And I hope that, you know, with this presentation, this is going to help you to understand that it is okay to initiate a conversation. Well, I shouldn't say initiate, I should say, you know, be in a conversation, even as a projector, if you haven't been invited to. Also, I just want to mention to you, I'm not actually here to get you to sell in the DMs. I'm here to teach you how to build relationships. You don't need an invitation to build a relationship with someone. If the relationship or the conversation dies, then that's what it needs to do. That's, you know, it needs to die. So I'm not here to ever, at any point in the relationship, I'm not here to tell you how to sell in the DMs as a projector. It's not going to happen. So next up, I do have 2 things of what you shouldn't be doing in the DMs and 2 things that you should be doing. Now, funnily enough, these are 2 things that I actually teach everyone to do and not do, not just projectors, but you can see how this is going to align with you guys as well. So to start off with, we don't want to send any kind of sales message whatsoever. We already know that we're projectors. We don't ever send anything like buy my course, join my Facebook group, or get my freebie in any way whatsoever. This is where we say potentially what we have. You know, I might put in, you know, randomly that I've got a Facebook group, like in the middle of a conversation, but then I would wait for someone to ask me for an invitation to join that Facebook group. Okay. Now, the reason being is that you haven't built a relationship with them at all. So you don't know what they want, what they need, what they're struggling with, or even if they're already working with someone. Now, obviously, that's not a problem if you start talking to someone and they're already working with a coach. Like, I don't think that that is a barrier or any kind of issue whatsoever. But, you know, you haven't built a relationship. You don't know what they want. You don't know what they need. So the sales message is not going to work, regardless of who you are and, you know, what you're trying to do, essentially. Also, don't put links in messages. I would actually say don't put link in any message, to be fair, but yeah. It's certainly not the first message. So I've got an example here on the right hand side, which is just a quick message that someone sent to me. I messaged her first just to say, you know, I thought your last post had blah, 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 whatever it was. You know, it was so cool. Thank you so much, or something like that. This is the instant message, that, not instant, but this is the message that I got straight back from her. Having gone through a tremendous transformation of my own, I'm now helping other women transform their lives through mindset mastery, emotional mastery, loving themselves, and believing that the proper mentorship, community, and strategy, anything is possible. Okay, so fair enough, but she's kind of like waffling a bit of a long paragraph, whatever. But then she goes into, would you like my free 7-day goal crushing cheat sheet now so that you can 10x your health and happiness goal? Put a comment below with a yes, please, and I'll send it right over to you. Now, I don't know about you, but that really curled my toes, that did. She didn't get to know me. She just tried to, chuck her freebie at me straight away, even because it was the fact that I had seen her piece of content and that I said that, oh, that sounds really good. I really agree with that. I personally don't think that even if someone agrees with what you're saying or likes your post or something like that, I do not think that you should ever turn around and say, well, have my freebie then. Ta-da! No, it just does not align with me at all. I don't know whether that's a projector thing, but it doesn't align with me. So the second do not do in the DMs is do not use the word I too much. Maybe if you're saying something like, oh, I really love your brand colors, or I really love that latest post you did, it really resonated with me. Fair enough, but I'm just going to read you this because this message was the very first message that I've received of someone, and she talked about herself, and she said I far too many times in this message. So I love your feed. Okay, fair enough. Then she starts talking about herself. I have a big following on LinkedIn. And now I'm super active on Instagram. I post every day. The topic is associated with personal branding. If you feel my content is valuable to you, let's follow each other. I also have a digital magazine that I launch every Wednesday on LinkedIn, and I'm always looking for thought leaders to feature on my front cover. I look forward to your content. So it's really, really, really driven around her. And she's not asked me any questions about me. She's not, got to know me whatsoever. It's a complete and utter. It's one of those sales messages in disguise, essentially. She wants you to reply to her, to be featured in her magazine. But then, of course, what's going to happen with that? Is she going to make you jump on a call and then try and sell you coaching? Is she going to make you pay for the feature in the magazine? It's just far too salesy for me. So this is why I say to my clients, do not use the word I in your message, certainly straight away. Now, I generally would say, maybe for projectors that I can sometimes reply to my own questions, but usually I would just wait for someone to ask me questions before I then talk about myself, unless I'm maybe agreeing, because someone might say, oh, I do this, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I do that too, yeah. And of course that's the projector thing, isn't it, to understand that we are alike and we do know what we're doing and stuff. So yeah, that is the 2 don'ts of DM so far. I'm going to go into 2 do's. I told you guys this was the longest one. Sorry about this, but I'm really passionate about this part. So the 2 do's of DMs is be intentional that you are sending a message to build relationships and not to sell. Okay. Now, this is a really, really, really big part of it. If you have the intent, and I know that I've talked about, finding your target audience and finding where they are on Instagram and connecting and engaging with them. That's all great, because we don't want to be talking to the 55-year-old men who like motorcycles, because, that's not your target audience. So we do need to still stick to our niche. But at the same time, we need to be really, really intentional that when we start DMs, we're not going to be selling to them. We still need to wait for the invitation, okay? So the intent behind the DM is to build relationships. So you may get a friendship, a collaboration invite. You may get a request to work with you after a while. It could be straight away. It could be after a while. I'm just trying to read my own writing there, my own text. Releasing the outcome of the task enables you to surrender. Okay, so if you say to yourself, well, I've got to sell in the DMs. I've got to build relationships to be able to sell in the DMs, and this isn't happening, and I'm not making any sales, then you're just putting too much pressure on yourself to do that. So you need to release, you need to surrender that pressure on yourself, and just have fun with the conversations, just build relationships, just have fun, just be friends with people, and really, really, really just talk to, you know, your ideal audience, your ideal clients, and just be yourself, just be a wonderful projector self. So the second do of DMs is ask questions. Okay, 80% of the time, if you do not ask a question, you will not get a reply. Okay, now sometimes those questions need to be a little bit on the shallow side. Now, when I say shallow, it might simply be, what are you doing today? How are you feeling today? What's up? And all this kind of thing. Because sometimes we don't want to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper in the DMs, because that is going to end up with you trying to coach someone in the DMs, and that's all going to fall apart because it's in the DMs, and you know, you're not like sort of like bouncing off the energy or anything like that. So with DMing people and building relationships, just make sure you're asking questions back, and then you'll get an answer, essentially. Make sure, of course, that you make it all about them, with personal tidbits in there as well, maybe about, you know, their latest post or story or something, and make them feel like you have actually looked at their account. And when I say make them feel, I mean actually look at their account, right? Look at what they're saying, what they're doing, and make it seem like you are messaging for no other reason than to reach out and support other women. Okay, so this is all about the intent behind it. You are reaching out and supporting other people. When I say other women here, sorry if your niche is men, but yeah, I guess this is just a little bit for me. A lot of women work with other women, so but yeah, this is how the intent behind the DM can really be to support other people, not to sell. Okay, so what happens, so bringing this all together that I've talked about so far, what happens when you follow, like, comment, and DM on Instagram? So all of this stuff that's going on. Well, over time, Instagram will start to understand what kind of people to show your content to. It won't be confused, because sometimes Instagram gets confused because they're like, well, she talks about this, but she's a coach, and loads of coaches like her stuff, but and Instagram gets confused who to show it to. So although you will get all sorts of people following you in some respects, when you are really, really targeted with your approach on Instagram, with your engagement and who you're DMing, etc., the algorithm will be on your side. So this is what I was talking about earlier, where the algorithm really has been built for a very sacral energy world. It's built for consistency, it's built for hustling. But this targeted approach for you and your projector aura will mean that the algorithm will become, it will be on your side, essentially. It really will. So from all this information that I have given you so far, we are going to start creating a daily to-do list for you. Okay, now all of this information here is going to be something that you personally can put into your daily or weekly Instagram practice, okay, according to your energy and how much time you have. So you could potentially each day find 5 new people to follow. Okay, that wouldn't take you very long. Each day you could also engage on 5 people's posts that are in your target audience, by the way. It has to be in your target audience, like I said with the very beginning one. And you could also start conversations with 5 new followers in your target audience. Okay, now you may find that you have the energy to do that on Monday, but you don't for the rest of the week. It's not a problem. So you need to make this little sort of like to-do list, or I don't know what else you'd want to call it as a projector, but you just need to make this as part of a practice that you do on a somewhat regular basis when you have the energy to. Okay, or coming to the next one, or you can get somebody else to do this. Okay, and I'm kind of thinking, oh no, I hear you're gonna like go, oh my god, I can't believe that Charlie's just said that after everything that she's just said about being aligned and, you know, being a projector and doing all this sort of stuff, but hear me out. Okay, so you can get community building VAs that will do this work for you. Okay, they know how to find your target audience and they know how to engage. Okay, so my VA works 1 hour a day from Monday to Friday in the morning, and basically she's grown my new account. It's a little more than a month old now, but in 1 month she grew my new account from 0 to 290 followers organically with only people in my target audience. Okay, so it is possible to do that. So you know, I say this about everything in business. If there is something you do not like in your business, it takes you too much energy and too much time to do it, outsource it. Now, if you are at the very beginning of your business and you're kind of thinking, well, I haven't got much income at the moment, so I can't really afford to do this, I shouldn't worry too much because VAs are extremely affordable. Okay, let me know if you want the information about my VA or like, you know, how much she is, because it really does help projectors to drop that overwhelm of having to find their target audience, connect and engage with them, and potentially start conversations. You might not want your VA to start conversations, but she can do if you want her to. So those are the 3 steps that you can literally just outsource to someone else. How amazing is that? So we're going to go on to step 5 now. So remember, guys, that was the biggest step of all, step 4. So don't worry, I haven't got too much more to go, I promise. So we are going to energetically align with our invitations now. So we're going to have to find a way to open yourself up to receiving invitations, because we're going to do what we love and we're going to share it with the world. And of course, by world, I mean your target audience, your audience, your current audience, whilst growing it. We are going to rest even if we don't want to. How many times have I had 3 days off? Monday morning, I've woken up. I have worked 8 hours because I felt absolutely amazing and on fire, and I had so many ideas and I love working, only to crash that evening and then have all day Tuesday off because I've done far too much work on Monday. Anybody else? Do you guys do that as well? So yes, rest even if you don't want to. And also, we're going to find a way to work less and play more. We're going to find a way to automate as much of our business as possible without overwhelming ourselves. And we're going to find a way of automating those marketing tasks without losing the authenticity that you need in order to grow your know, like, and trust factor. Okay. So just a little bit here with my own personal marketing strategy. So I batch create content and schedule onto social media. So once every, 2 weeks or so, I will sit down and batch create my content, and then that is it, done for the 2 weeks. Now, depending on what authority you are, this might not work for you, and I completely understand that. I'm a Splenic authority, so this is a very good way of being able to create content for me personally. If you're an emotional authority, I do know from you guys that you like to really feel into that piece of content, and you like to almost do it in the moment, because you've got that wave of emotion that is helping you to create content, or you know when you're at a neutral point and you know that you can create content at a neutral point. I also only get on stories when my energy lets me, okay? So I don't force myself to just get out there and go. I have an evergreen funnel for my freebie, which includes 5 automated emails leading to an invitation to work with me, okay? So after you have received the email for this masterclass, you will be receiving 4 other emails from me, and that is in like my automated email chain. So I've written them originally, but they are going out one by one every 2 days after this, after you watch this, basically. And that is essentially how I am also building my know, like, and trust factor, because you guys have spent some time with me on here today, so you can kind of see me and you can see my flow and you can hear me and everything, but also you've got some written content from me coming your way as well to help you to really dive a little bit deeper into the concepts that I have taught you about today. Okay. And of course, you know, the invitation to work with me is simply a free power hour. So what's wrong with that? All I want to do is help you guys. So, you know, and I'll come on to that in a little bit in a second. And then in the meantime, I'm also connecting, engaging, and building relationships every day with the help of my VA. So this is how I do my business. And I can certainly help you to understand how to automate some of your marketing tasks as well. So my free power hour. So if you're feeling like you need help with the automation, your marketing, and you know, this whole concept of working less, earning more, then this is your invitation to come and have a chat with me on a one-to-one basis, so that I can really, really get under the skin of your business and really understand where, as a projector, you need to, you know, cut the overwhelm and, you know, just show up as your true, authentic self. So my promise to you is that I will only tell you about how you can work with me if you ask, okay? In that power hour, a whole 60 minutes will be dedicated to you and nothing to do with me whatsoever. There's absolutely no obligation to signing up with me. If you do have a power hour, I literally just want to help serve you. I just want to help you in some kind of way. So, you know, don't just think to yourself, well, I can't afford a coach right now. Or I don't think I should be talking to Charlie because she's going to sell to me. I don't want you to worry about that at all. You can literally end that call at 60 minutes and that's it. You won't hear from me, other than, you know, social media and me saying hi and checking in with you and that kind of thing. You will not have me selling to you whatsoever. So don't worry about that. So how can you sign up to my power hour? So click the link below to open my Calendly and book a space. If you can't find anything that suits you in my calendar, because maybe you're not in a European time zone, don't worry too much. We can definitely sort something out. It's just that I can't put everything that I've got on Calendly, because as a projector, I need to manage my days individually. So let's say, for example, like, I don't know, 2 of you booked on one Tuesday, and then all of a sudden someone in America then wanted to book with me at like 6 o'clock in the evening. I'd be like, I'm really sorry, I can't do 6 o'clock in the evening because I haven't got any energy left. So I do have to manage my days accordingly. So please just drop me a DM on my Instagram account, which is @TheCharlieGarnham, and we can set something up individually without the use of Calendly. So go ahead and book a power hour with me, and we will get you absolutely sorted with your marketing. So I wanted to say thank you so much for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure teaching you guys the amazing 5 steps to bridge the gap in between posting social and you know, actually signing clients. And I really hope that you got, you know, at least a couple of things out of this, so that you can really and truly start to you know, build a business that you love as your unique projector self. So thank you very much, guys, and I will see you back over on my Instagram account.